my face. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm on my phone and it's got like my face. And of course, today I wore my PJs. I hope this is working. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Welcome to Sex with Robin and my PJs on Split Radio. This is the second attempt. For some reason, I don't know what's going on. I'm tech illiterate. I couldn't get audio right, and I couldn't even get visual. So this is the second attempt for today's show. So I guess it's going to be one of those days. I'm not wearing any makeup, or it didn't even touch my hair. I'm just wearing my Minions onesie in my office, in my spinning chair. So welcome to Sex with Robin on Split Radio. I hope this is working. And yes, here we talk about sex, kink, dating, non-monogamy, any and all of that good shit. And my name is Robin Beach. She, her pronouns. I am a former stripper, former pro-dom, former nurse with experience in cardiology, psychology, and sexual health. And today I want to talk about how you talk about sex with others. And do you talk about sex with others? Also, I'm on my phone, so I'm going to just, let's see, go to the, there we go, in the chats. I got it open now. I think I got it figured out on my phone while I sit awkwardly on this chair. I feel awkward because this camera has my face like super blown up. So, anyways, good morning, everyone. I hope this is working much better. Again, apologies for all this craziness. But I was just thinking about how you talk to other people about sex. It feels weird to talk about talking about sex, but it's just something that was kind of on my mind a lot. I was thinking, I talk about sex all the time, obviously for work, but also in my non-work life, just because that's a topic I'm very passionate about. And I think more people should be open talking about it. But at the same time, I respect if you're not comfortable talking about that or talking about anything sexual. And so I kind of wanted to ask people and get a good idea of where we are on that, where you are on that. Do you have friends that you talk to about sex? Do you have anyone that you can talk to where you can talk about anything? Like there's no such thing as TMI with that person. Do you talk to any family members? I know some people that are open with their parents or cousins or siblings or whatever and talking about sex. And yeah, so what are your boundaries? And how do you also make sure that you're being respectful of other people? Because you don't want to talk about something that other people are comfortable with. And then I want to get into like the added layers of non-monogamy. Because if you're talking about your sex life with someone else, are you talking about that other person? Are you using names? Is that other person okay with it? You've got a comment, yay, audio, yay, it's working, and yay, video, but it's a little awkward, and that's okay. Thank you for your patience. But yeah. And do you talk? And then we can even go down further that rabbit hole. This is how my brain works. And then I think, okay, what about talking to your partners about sex with other partners? Do you talk to your partners about each other's sex lives? I want to know. And now I'm trying to think of what I do. I'll give you an example, actually, because I know some people have been asking about my trip. I just got back yesterday from Whitehorse in the Yukon, which, Mandy, I love you. I love you all. And you know what? I can laugh at Mandy, but you can laugh at me. My American geography is terrible. But if you're not familiar, the Yukon is just north of BC and just east of Alaska. So I spent the weekend in the Yukon with two great friends of mine. They're my muggle friends. They like being called muggles as opposed to vanilla. And because we've had that discussion, and they are I mean, we went to high school together. Like, we're still close friends from high school, which is really cool. Our little high school kind of group, we still talk on a daily basis, and we all have very different lives. So I love it. It's kind of fun, and awesome, and I love them. So, friend of mine and I flew to Whitehorse to visit our friend in the Yukon for a couple nights, and we had a really great time. Mostly, we just wanted to lie around and be lazy and eat and drink and watch movies and talk, and it was really nice. It was beautiful up there. I didn't get a chance to see the Northern Lights. But anyways, I bring this up because these are two of my high school friends whom I love both very much. But each friend I know has very different boundaries on talking about sex. So when the three of us were together, we didn't talk about sex very much because my Yukon friend is not, and that's okay, is a little more ace and is a little like not as comfortable talking about sex, and that I respect the shit out of that. And so there was one moment where it was like, all right, I reached a boundary, but it was still loving. Like, she was okay. We were watching Bad Moms. It was really fun. And there's a scene with Mila Kunis, and she's trying to get dressed for a date, and her friends are trying to help her. And, they're making fun of her mom bra. And, she's like, this is my sexy bra. And then we're laughing, me and my friends, and laughing and relating to that. Because one of my friends is also a mom, and we're like, kind of like, I hate underwire bras. And I wore it right now. It's like, this is my sexy bra too, because that's what she was saying, like her mom bras are sexy bra. I'm wearing my sexy bra, which is like a sports bra. It's not a sexy bra, but it's got straps. It's got like a couple of straps, so that makes it sexy. And I didn't like take it off or anything. I just like unbuttoned my shirt to show the straps. And my Yukon friend, in her loving way, was like, Robin, put your sexy mom bra away. And I was just laughing like, okay, I will. So it's not like I flashed anything. And she definitely told me to put my tits away. But, it was in the way she usually does, where she's like, Robin, I'm like, oh, sorry. I'll put my tits away. And then, of course, the other friend's laughing because my other friend that was there is one that we talk about all kinds of details. So, when the three of us are together, all right, okay, so we're going with the most boundaries here. And then whoever you're with. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. Whoever has like the most boundaries, that's where the group discussion should be. You know what I mean? So do you have that kind of situation? Do you have friends that, you talk about everything? Friends, maybe not as much, and that's okay. You don't always have to talk about sex. I do have the two little monsters home, still sick. This flu, it's not COVID, it's a flu, but it's a bad flu. And they're okay now. It's just a long, long recovery. So I don't know how long I'll be able to go for today, but and how do you, here's my question, how do you approach, at least this is how I do it, how do you approach like finding out what your friends' boundaries are, or if you can talk to somebody about sex? You can always try to be like, let me know if this is TMI, or like, hey, can I talk to you about something that is sex related? And just be super respectful. I feel like those kinds of relationships, I don't know, how do you start talking about sex? Is it one of those things where it's just naturally okay? Because there's definitely people you meet where like, we can talk about this? Okay, we can talk about this. I had somebody, it was another mom another mom from one of the school that my kids go to. So our kids are friends, we cross paths a lot, and I had like a hickey on my neck that I didn't realize was there, but it was there. And she looked and she goes, for a moment, it was a look of concern, like, oh, are you okay? And then she I see the understanding kind of as the comprehension is happening, that she realizes she's looking at a hickey, like this comprehension of like, oh, she was like, is that a hickey? It's like, yeah. Sorry, I know I'm like in my mid-30s, but yeah. She was like, wow, I wish I could have fun like that. And I was like, why not? Get it. I don't care that you're a mom, have some fun. And you know what she did? She starts, like, she legit doubles over laughing. We're standing and she doubles over laughing. And I'm waiting to see what she's going to say. And then as her head comes up and she's laughing, and she goes, I used to be such a whore. And I immediately knew this is somebody I could talk to. This is another mom that I could talk to about sex when I'm ashamed. Like, that was awesome. And then I kind of was like, what stopped you? She's like, I got married and had kids. And I'm like, that's not me. So that was really cool. It was like, as soon as she said the word, like, I used to be such a whore, I felt immediately comfortable. I was like, oh, I thank you for putting that out there. Like, for being the one to say that, because now I know I can talk to you about stuff. So yeah, how do you gauge people's comfort levels when it comes to the topic? I think that's another good question that's worth exploring. How do you gauge someone's comfortability around the topic of sex? I will speak with my experience on when I'm presenting or like teaching. Because there is a question of like, how dirty am I going to go? And because I don't want to scare anyone off, right? I would say, like, don't scare the muggles. My goal is for people to be comfortable around the topic. So obviously I don't want to go beyond people's comfort levels when I'm speaking. So I have a couple of stories that I might share and gauge the audience's reaction. Oh, so yeah, someone says right here, I got a comment here. Tell them a dirty joke. Does anyone know any good dirty jokes? Please share your dirty jokes in the comments and I'll see if I can find some good ones or think of one. But that's a good idea, because I usually tell I have a couple of stories that I might share. There was like a fisting story that involved two partners, two girlfriends were fisting someone together, and I was watching, and they both each had one hand touching the other and going in and out of this person's vagina. So it was like one hand at a time, but each partner was like touching hands and going in and out. That's not how I tell the story, but that's the story. That's what happened. And I watched the crowd, and this is at a sex topic, so I can say that. And either people are like kind of clutching their pearls a little bit, like, holy crap, we're talking about multiple sex partners. Also, I witnessed this multiple sex partner thing happening. Also, we're talking hands inside vaginas, and it's a lot. And others, and this is on the way other side of the reaction. People go, "Aw." And when people go, "Aw," and I'm like, okay, I can say pretty much anything. So let me know if you have a good dirty joke or good dirty story that would help gauge your reaction. Oh man, I feel like I should have more dirty jokes, but mostly I'm just an innuendo and pun person. Dirty jokes. And yeah, I'm always wary of dirty jokes too, because I feel like, okay, my GP tells a lot of dirty jokes. They're a little problematic sometimes. And I'm like, so I don't know. The aw was my reaction, says Christy. Right? It's so sweet. I thought it was really sweet, but it's a really good story to share to gauge how the crowd is feeling in terms of sexual openness, or, going down that rabbit hole. That rabbit hole. Oh my goodness. Also, Mandy, I really, truly, I'm sorry. I did not see a moose in the Yukon. I looked, but I mean, it's not really their season, and they're crepuscular. They only come out really at like dawn and dusk, and I wasn't out then. So I saw a fox. It was really pretty, and I saw some deer. Here we go. Oh, I got a comment here. I'll tell you an old dirty red fox joke. They're all dirty in the DMs later. Sean. Hi, Sean. I love hearing dirty jokes. Let's see how that goes, because that's a good topic. I feel like I don't have a ton of good dirty jokes. I usually just giggle at everything because I see here everything is an innuendo. Okay, so back to the topic. How do you talk about sex with your friends, or just with your partners? Let's say, I'm trying to think. I don't want to use names. This is the problem. And if I am talking to somebody about sex and I don't really have the consent of the other person, I won't give any identifying information, and I don't usually. But be careful, because someone might know who you're talking about, right? Like sometimes it just might be kind of implied, or they might be able to do the math in the heads, knowing if they know who your partners are or who you see. But typically I ask, I'll just be like, hey, can I tell this person about, what we did? And on the other side of that, I have partners that will ask me, like, are you going to tell anyone? Or, hey, are you going to tell this person? Because they might understand that person might be interested in hearing that story. So that's usually just how that goes. I know that sounds wordy because I'm avoiding using names, but and then when it comes to partners telling other partners, you do got to be careful, because sometimes people maybe don't want to hear those details. And on the other end of the spectrum, I love hearing details. Oftentimes I get really compersion-y and I get really, really happy and excited. Other things though, and I would try to say it, every now and then there might be something that maybe hits a certain nerve or an insecurity of mine. And I'd be like, you know what? I'm so glad you had fun. I don't want to hear about this date. That's okay. You don't have to. You shouldn't be forced to listen to something that you aren't comfortable with, right? Yeah. How do you approach that? Do you talk to each other's partners about your sex lives? Do you talk to anyone about your sex lives? I thought of the coworkers, but yeah, like I haven't had a normal job in a long time. But in the nursing world, I don't think I ever talked about my sex life. In the stripping world, I definitely did. There's a lot of sex sharing stories with other strippers. That's just how that is. Okay, we got a comment here. Oh, from Christy, it says, I like to tell enough details to make people wonder, but not enough details to know all the details. It keeps things interesting and mysterious, but it's always been consensual. Christy, thank you. That's great. I love it. I know that would suck me right in, Christy, honestly, because I'm like, I always want all the dirty details. So I'm like, tell me more. And I'm always asking questions. I love hearing this stuff. So yeah. Usually, I might not always have the space for it, but yeah, I always want to tell me all the details. I want to know. I know he's okay with me sharing this. I'm always trying to get details from Brandon, and I also I want to respect. I know that he's not uncomfortable. He's just not a really sharing person. He's very very internal. He's not a big talker. And like, how was your date? And I even know his partner's okay with me hearing details, and he'd be like, "Yeah, it was good." I'm like, that's it? Come on, share. He's like, no, it was good, it's good. I had a nice time. I'm like, give me details. And he's like, no, it was nice, it's good. And sometimes he'll share, but like, he's just not a sharing person. So give me the details. I'm not entitled to hear your shit. I want to though. Yeah. Oh, I think this is Christy. Yes. Hi, Christy. I was chatting with my meta one day and made a comment about, I quote, I put a strap on and showed him who was boss, end quote. He about died because you've met me, you know I give off innocent vibes. Okay, Christy, that's hilarious. See, that's a fun, you're fun. That is really great. That's so great, because it leaves you with a lot of imagery. I'm always like, oh, so what'd you do first? Yeah. That's awesome. That is really fun. Oh, see, now I'm just like, that does sound like fun. And I'm imagining you showing someone who's boss, because yes, you do give off very like sweet, innocent vibes, which I mean, I always like the quiet ones and the shy ones and the sweet ones, because oftentimes they are pretty fun. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is true. I need to hear some dirty jokes. I also, I just wanted to say, how is the weather where you are? I will show you actually, because I do want to show you. It's snow here. We don't get snow here that often. There's the snow. It's not a ton, but for us, that's a lot. And the fact that it hasn't melted. So it was kind of weird to come home to that. Because there was a lot of snow in the Yukon. Christy says, it's moist out. Moist and cold. You're very welcome to those people who really don't like the word moist. I never got that. But that's okay, you do you. And you're in Idaho. Oh, look, white stuff. I know. Look at all the snow. There's actual snow out there. It's weird. It's very weird. We get snow maybe a few times a year, so. I had to salt the front steps this morning. Where is it where you are? Where is it? Where is it where you are? How is it where you are? In Idaho, it's cold and moist. Here it's cold and the skies are clear, so it's pretty chilly. I want to say it's like 5 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. We have about the same amount of snow in Boise right now. I'm going to assume that's Christy, yeah. I can see it snowing in Boise. That makes sense. What if you're somewhere where there is no snow? Oh, you should have seen the beautiful, beautiful snow in the Yukon. It was gorgeous. It's very, very pretty. And I will be posting pictures today. Once I got home yesterday, I didn't want to do anything. Even though I didn't do that much while I was in the Yukon. Traveling is still exhausting. Sleeping in a different bed is still exhausting. Yeah. And there's my kitty who missed me. So honestly, I can't even think of that much else to say when it comes to like talking to others about sex, other than making sure you have consent to talk about it, that you're not making someone uncomfortable. Know what your own boundaries are too. Like, it's okay for you to not want to talk about sex, and for you to choose when you talk about sex and with whom. And yeah, maybe check with your partners if you're not comfortable with them sharing stories about you. Yeah, I usually share stories and don't use a name, but I'm also really slutty, so I could probably get away with it. Maybe sometimes, maybe not. I don't know. Also, yeah, I make sure my partners are okay with it, and typically the people that I have sex with are usually okay with it. But watching Bad Moms actually was really what made me think about that, the way they talk about sex, because you would definitely tell they have different comfort levels, but the movie definitely goes all in. So, and while we're here, I need to know what holiday movies you want me to discuss, because I do this every year. If you haven't been here previous years, I would usually do like a Hallmark holiday movie and a horror holiday movie. And I usually have Dr. Liz on here. I'll see if I can get them again, because I miss them, to discuss the sex and relationship kind of dynamic. So not necessarily just talking about the movie, but because we kind of got to keep it related. But a lot of times with like the Hallmark movies, we discuss the really insane white heteronormativity that kind of occurs. I know that we're seeing a lot more like lesbian and gay kind of movies, but they're still like a little obviously problematic. And then there's always some good horror movies that are like holiday horror movies. I don't know if we can talk a lot about like the sex and relationship dynamics. There's another one coming out. What is it called? Violent Nights. What's his name? He plays Hopper in Stranger Things, and he's playing like what I'm assuming is a very evil Santa. Maybe I'll check that one. But y'all tell me if you have a holiday Hallmark movie where you're like, ew, ew, or if there's anything that you think maybe they're doing right or doing wrong in terms of sex and relationships, and you want me to discuss that in a holiday Hallmark and or holiday horror movie, please let me know. Please let me know, because that'd be so much fun. I haven't decided what movies I'm going to do yet, and that's kind of coming up. So like, shit, it's December already. I got another comment here from Christy. I have a few platonic and monogamous friends that love hearing about my sex life. They like living vicariously through me. Their little closeted poly selves. Christy. Yes, I feel that too. Because I have my muggle friends. Some which like hearing stuff and some don't. And the ones that do are like, they always say that. They're like, wow, it's really interesting hearing these stories because I'd never do that. We're gonna have to do, we're gonna do some, because it's December. We're gonna have to do some movies, and we're gonna have to do, maybe we'll do an eggnog movie thing or a game night. Let's do it. Oh yeah, Mandy and I are gonna do game night. I gotta talk to her, but it's early morning. Whoops, sorry. My name. Some people think it's pronounced Biatch. It's not. It's Robin Beach. I wish it was Biatch. Yeah, a lot of people pronouncing it wrong, and that's okay because it's hilarious and makes me very, very happy. I was actually discussing that yesterday of like names that are fun. My maiden name is like not as fun. Oh goodness. Okay. I might have to head out a bit early because I can hear my kids in the background and they're sick and they're being crazy and playing video games. At least there are other kids that are sick because they're legitimately playing Fortnite with other kids that are homesick right now. So at least there's that. And so what I need from y'all, this is what I want. If you like, I want to hear some good dirty jokes. Ideally ones that aren't like fucking problematic or racist or shitty. So a good wholesome dirty joke. Give me your wholesome dirty jokes. I want to hear some of them, and I will share them at some point. I'll share them on my Instagrams. And I also want to know what holiday movies you want me to discuss in terms of like the sex and relationship aspect. What have we covered in the past? We've done Love Actually, and I might do it again this year, honestly, if people want it, because there's a lot to break down. It's such a good movie, but also there's some fucked up shit in there. It's a lot to cover. Let me know what yours are if you have a Hallmark one and or a Halloween one. Keep posted on the show because Mandy and I were going to be playing some games, and I need to touch base with her, so I'm going to go do that. And otherwise, so keep a watch on the Many Loves lunch hour. Oh shit, it's Many Loves lounge hour now because it is an evening spot. Mondays, I believe 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST on the Many Loves lounge with Robin Split Radio. That's 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST. I love y'all. And don't forget, if your family, your loved ones don't support you for who you are, I'm your family now.